Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Everybody's always got something to say about Daniel Jones. A lot of the Giants fans love him. A lot of Giants fans hate him. Most Giants fans are in the middle about him and they just want to wait and see. I'm on the side of, I think Daniel Jones is going to be our guy. But I also think if you hate Daniel Jones, consider this. What have we placed around Daniel Jones to allow him to succeed? What have we given him to allow him to be that great quarterback that you're comparing Daniel Jones to Kyler Murray and Josh Allen and guys who have number one receivers and better teams around them. That's pretty much what you're doing. And it's not a fair comparison. It's just not a fair comparison at all. He's had his issues with the fumbles, but you see Trevor Lawrence yesterday. When you get a young quarterback under pressure all the time, and especially coming from his blind side, and he feels like if he doesn't make a play on that play, that the game is going to be over and his team isn't good enough to stay in that game, you're going to have a lot of fumbles. And that happened. And you see us with the game staying close this year and us competing, the fumbles have gone down. He's also got sacked, 12 times the last 2 weeks, and he's been holding on to the football, or the last 3 weeks because he didn't play 2 weeks ago. But he's been holding on to the football. He hasn't been throwing interceptions. So whenever we give Daniel Jones some help is when I believe it's fair to evaluate him. When we get receivers next year, please don't mess this up and don't get receivers, Dave Gettleman or whoever's going to be picking. Get some receivers next year. We should have that shot at seeing what the real Daniel Jones is when he has talent around him. When he has Saquon in the backfield and able to throw the ball to him. Because think about it. Who was our running back out of the backfield that's a receiving threat? And you would say Deion Lewis. I would too. But for some reason, Jason Garrett doesn't throw it to him. So Daniel Jones comes in last year. He's hated by most Giants fans. They're booing him at Yankee games before he even plays a snap. He comes out in the preseason, and then Giants fans are ready to call him the next, great thing from those preseason games. He comes out his first game against the Buccaneers, comes back from an 18-point deficit, which people try to act like didn't happen. Has a great game that day. And then he has his rookie struggles, like everybody does. And he throws 24 touchdowns in only 12 games. 24 touchdowns. The rookie record at that point was 27. And he played 12 games, missing 4. He had 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, multiple 4 and 5 touchdown games. He showed that he was mobile last year. And everything is supposed to be looking up at that point. Everything at that point is looking up. He's getting Sterling Shepard back healthy next year. He's getting Evan Ingram back healthy next year. He's already got Caden Smith looking good at this point, in 2019. Saquon Barkley's going to be back for a full season. So everything's looking good. And then you come into this season, the pandemic happens. No offseason. You get a new head coach. You get a new offensive coordinator with a completely different offensive philosophy than the other one. You got stick route after stick route after curl route after curl route after slant route. They won't let you throw the ball down the field, which you did so great last year. So great throwing the ball down the field to Darius Slayton. And even Golden Tate, who some reason is a jump ball king at 5'9" or 5'10" or however tall he is. He shouldn't be making those catches, but for some reason he makes all of them. And it's just ridiculous. Every single offensive player, every single skilled offensive player has regressed in this Giants offense under Jason Garrett. The offensive line got better, but I don't know how much credit you give to Jason Garrett as far as we actually addressed the offensive line this offseason. We didn't address the wide receivers. We addressed the offensive line. The defense looked great all year, most of the year this year, but it didn't matter. The Giants offense has scored 24 touchdowns. Wayne Gallman and Alfred Morris have gotten their fair share of touchdowns in the red zone after DJ's driven us down the field. But the Giants fans who hate Daniel Jones seem to ignore that the reason that they got those touchdowns was because Daniel Jones threw us or ran us down the field. Now, when you look at his stats, they're atrocious. They're horrible. And like I said, of course it's a little bit of his fault. But you have to look at the way that this offense looks and the fact that we did not address the wide receiver position. We didn't sign Robbie Anderson. We didn't try to make any trades. Maybe we did. I can't say we did or didn't. But we didn't make any trades. And we didn't draft any wide receivers in what everybody was calling. This is a generationally talented wide receiver class in the 2020 draft this year. We had a shot at Chase Claypool, and we saw first week he made his impact. I like Xavier McKinney, but Chase Claypool will be making a lot bigger of an impact this year than Xavier McKinney. And we didn't address it. We didn't give him help, and we give him a system that doesn't fit him and a system that I think is broken. I think this system should have been left in 2009. So we got ownership forcing this offensive coordinator on Joe Judge, forcing this offensive coordinator on to Daniel Jones, and it's shown. 10 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and I think 5 or 6 fumbles lost. So this isn't a good season by any stretch, by any means. It's not a good season, and a lot of things have fallen and crumbled around him. But with all that being said, Daniel Jones is still going to have a shot at playing for a division. This is the first time the Giants are going to be in Week 17 in a division game that matters since, 2016? So Daniel Jones is going to have his first big game, kind of playoff style game. Win. If you lose, you're definitely going home. If you win, you have a shot with Washington losing Sunday Night Football. The Eagles are benching everybody. They're playing for draft picks at this point. But if they somehow win, if Jalen Hurts somehow pulls off magic and they win and Daniel Jones is able to lead his team to a victory, the Giants are in the playoffs. Now, I'm someone who really wants receiver help for Daniel Jones, but I'm going to be rooting for him when he's out there. And this is his first big game, so I'm rooting for him to really make his name known, put his foot down on Dallas's throat, and just deliver just like a virtuoso performance. I'm looking for Daniel Jones to play above the numbers, to do what he did last week, extend some plays, except this time probably find some receivers deep. I think Jason Garrett will finally let him to be aggressive. I think he'll be able to run the ball a little bit more than he did before, pick up some of these first downs that he couldn't last week. And I'm expecting him to have a big game. I'm expecting him to prove himself as a Giants franchise quarterback. And if we don't make the playoffs, or if we lose a close game that's not really his fault, that'll show you that he's already this guy. And if you give him a weapon, if you give him weapons, he's going to really take the team to the next level. So I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting to see this. This is a prove-it game for him. Mind you, without not much help around him. But I'm mostly just looking at how Daniel Jones individually looks in this game. If he cowers under pressure, if he folds under pressure, if he has that clutch gene or not, or if he just comes out and dominates from start to finish, which I believe he can. I think he's going to give his receivers a chance. I think Andrew Thomas will do his thing and block, and then it's just all up to him. If you're a Daniel Jones hater, if you think that he sucks, if you think that he's bad, just say to yourself, have we given him a good enough shot at winning? Have we given him a good enough shot to throw the ball to? Who's the guy that's getting open that's giving him shots to succeed in this league? What do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.